The alternator in this 2014 Toyota Highlander had to be replaced after over 226,000 miles. In this video, I will address the common signs of a bad alternator, how to test if the alternator is working, and how I managed to replace the alternator on the road myself after it stopped working 86 miles away from home. This video will not show the entire replacement process of the alternator because that would make this video too long. If you are only interested in the installation procedure, hit this tab right here to go straight to that video, but I recommend watching this video to the end. The alternator provides power to all electrical components in the vehicle, and the first sign of a bad alternator happened when the battery light appeared on the dashboard, as you can see here. When I accelerated aggressively to increase the speed by which the alternator spins by the serpentine belt, the battery light disappeared, as you can see. This means that there's an issue between the battery and the charging system, also known as generator, which is the alternator. In my case, the battery light was disappearing and appearing, which indicated that the problem was on and off like a shortage. It's time to check the battery voltage and alternator with a multimeter. The vehicle is currently not running. I will set the multimeter up to 20 volts and place the black lead to the negative side of the battery and the red lead to the positive side of the battery. You can see that the reading is below 12 volts, which means that the battery charge is low. It should always be over 12 volts. The alternator charges the battery when it is working properly and the vehicle is running. In my case here, the battery voltage was actually dropping while the vehicle was running, which means that the battery was not charging at all. The voltage was dropping because the battery was powering all the electrical components of the vehicle without the help of a working alternator. The next step was to check if the serpentine belt was still there. If it is not there, that would likely be the problem. Other components such as the air conditioning system would not work without the serpentine belt either. If the belt is still there, turn off the vehicle and check the tension of the belt, because a loose belt will not turn the alternator properly. If the serpentine belt is good, check the power output connector right here while the vehicle is running. If the volt reading shows the same or lower reading to the battery reading, the alternator is not working and should be replaced. Check all connections for corrosion and check the alternator fuse. In summary, while the vehicle is running, the voltage reading at the battery and the voltage reading at the alternator should display the same or similar reading of 13.25 to over 14 volts. So I have confirmed that the alternator was bad and need to be replaced. The next video will show the entire replacement process, and a link to that video is in the description below. Before I replaced the alternator, I made a big mistake though. I kept driving the vehicle because the alternator worked more than it stopped working. It was going bad but seems more good than bad. I thought I had about a week to replace the alternator. Here was what happened. The alternator stopped working totally on the freeway almost 90 miles away from home. The battery check light stayed on and I noticed the headlights started to dim. It eventually reached the point where the headlights went almost off and the vehicle started to struggle to stay on. The gas pump and other electrical components were fighting for the little power left in the battery. Luckily, I made it to a gas station and I wasn't able to park properly. It was about 10 p.m. at night, and to tow the vehicle almost 90 miles home would be very expensive. Let me tell you what I did next. I went on Google Maps to find an hotel to spend the night. I needed the hotel to be close to a car rental dealer as well as a Toyota dealer. I luckily found a hotel that was across from a Toyota dealer which actually had a Hertz car rental inside. All these places were only 6 miles away from where I was. That was perfect. I took an Uber to spend the night at the hotel. Went to the Toyota dealership in the morning, bought a remanufactured alternator for almost $400 plus taxes, and a serpentine belt for almost $60 plus taxes. I then rented a car for the day for a total of $42. I drove the rental car to go and check on my vehicle. It was still there and was not broken into. I then went home for my tools. As you can see, they are all loaded in the trunk right here. I then went back to my vehicle, used the rental car to charge the battery in my vehicle for about 15 minutes. Then move my vehicle to a good spot where I will perform the alternator replacement. I then replaced the alternator and serpentine belt. It took a while because I didn't have all the tools needed, but I got the job done. I'll let you know the tools you will need so you won't face the problems I faced. I then tested the vehicle to ensure everything was working as they should. I left my vehicle at the gas station with the permission of the gas station manager, then went home with the rental car. In the morning, I went to my vehicle to ensure that it was still there. I refueled the rental car and returned it to Hertz. Then returned the damaged alternator to the Toyota dealership for a $75 refund. I then take an Uber back to my vehicle. Then finally went home with my vehicle working properly again. I am happy I did the job myself. The Toyota dealership quoted $689 plus tax for the labor for this job. That was the entire situation, guys. But I have a theory as to how the alternator was damaged. I suspect that the alternator was damaged while cleaning oil off the engine cover with the degreaser. Oil got on the engine cover from a leaking VVT solenoid. See link in the description below for that repair. Now you can check out this video to see the entire replacement process of the alternator and serpentine belt. Remember to subscribe to this channel if you have not yet done so. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and share this video with someone who might like this information. See you on the next video, guys.